Now, away from the opposition party to the ruling APC, President Muhammadu Buhari last week shocked members of his party when he asked for a reversal of the tenure elongation granted to the National Working Committee of the party NWC. Now, the NWC is the executive arm of the party responsible for its day-to-day operations. It is headed by the national chairman, John Odije Oyegun, and his tenure was scheduled to end this year, having been elected in 2014. The decision to extend the tenure was taken at a meeting of the party in February. However, not everyone was happy with the decision. Some members of the party actually went to court over the matter. President Buhari, who initially supported the tenure extension, made a reversal at the National Executive Committee meeting of the party in Abuja, taking a number of the party officials by surprise. Now take a listen to what the president had to say at that meeting.
I have taken some time to review and seek advice on the resolution, and what I found is that it contravenes both our party constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. While the APC Constitution in Article 17 in bracket 1 and 13.2 bracket B limits the tenure of elected officers to 4 years, renewable once by another election. The 1999 Constitution of Nigeria is amended in section 223, also prescribes periodic elections for party executives at regular intervals, which must not exceed 4 years. Furthermore, Article 31 of our party's constitution provides that any principal officer wishing to recontest or contest for another post must resign from his current post at least 1 month before the election. In this circumstance, what is expected of us is to conduct fresh elections once the tenure of the current executives approaches its end. A caretaker committee cannot remedy the situation and cannot validly act in place of elected officers.
Now, that decision of the president has naturally drawn reactions from members of the party. While some commend him for speaking out against the extension, others say his decision does not matter, insisting it's just an advice. The National Working Committee of the party says it is still looking into the president's suggestion, but that for now, the tenure extension stands. Now, earlier in the week, I spoke to a chieftain of the party to get his views on the president's comments. Mr. Aduko, thank you very much for joining us on the program. First off, did the statement of the president at the NEC meeting, did it come to you as a surprise?
The party had taken a position, and as the president, he has heard his own opinion too, his fears about what he feels, the decision that the party took. So as the president has advised, and immediately the party took action by setting up a committee to look at the situation. And I'm sure we will get further instructions from the party as the time goes.
But what do you make of the president's position?
Well, he said he has thought about the processes and he has consulted and he was advised from legal point of view. But you know, in law, no two lawyers have the same opinion. So his legal advisors has advised him and said this is the way to go. And the party took a decision, which I'm sure the committee will advise and will reach a decision that is acceptable to all, which from point of law and from point of acceptability to the man.
But you must admit that if this is not carefully managed, it could tear your party apart.
No. It cannot tear the party apart. These are just, we're looking for ways to make sure that we do things properly and peacefully. If you remember, one of the reasons that the publicity secretary did say was that they didn't want us to go into the rancor of a new Congress, the rancor that the after effect. You know the history of Nigerian political processes. When there's after a Congress, people will always quarrel, people will always feel cheated, some people will leave the party. So in their wisdom, they felt that the one way they could do this was to allow the current ESCO to continue. And for me, in my own opinion, like President did say, they have the Constitution allows them to contest again for a second tenure. So who knows? The people want, the people took 1 year. Maybe technically might not end up giving them 4 years.
Yeah, of course, because obviously the constitution of the party allows them to contest for another term. But what the president did must be, to be candid, considered very commendable, because it's a long time we saw this kind of thing in a political party where the president of the country who belongs to a political party would now come out to take, you know, so to speak, openly and seemingly sincerely to state his position on what should be done, basically preaching, you know, internal party democracy and the compliance with the party's constitution.
Well, you see, that is Buhari for you. That's the beauty of Buhari. He has his own mind. He says it as he knows it, as he sees it, as he wants to say it. Buhari, you know, is always, he represents that symbol of sincerity, doggedness, and anti-corruption. So that's him. For you, some people will probably go behind the door to go and discuss these issues. But the man chose to come out into the meeting and say, this is what I feel, this is what I advised, and this is my suggestion. Please, party, look at this thing again. So, and he still gave a window and said, you have the chance, opportunities of recontesting. Like I said before, they took 1 year. We might just be giving them 4 years by this decision.
And another thing I just want you to react to, there have been comments here and there that it appears the president does not assert his control over the party, you know, that he appears not to be in control of the party, that he is not firm at all. What's your own take on that?
It's not about being firm. There's what they call division of labor in politics. The party is the party. If you remember, we always say the party is supreme. So the party has to have his own control. The president is of the executive arm. We elected him to govern the whole country. So it's not technically, he should not be in control of the party. The party should run on its own. So that's the only way, if you go wrong, the party can stand up and tell you, no, Mr. President, you're not doing it right. This is what we expect you to do. So for me, Buhari is just being democratic by allowing the party to function, just as he's allowing the legislative arm of government to function. If you remember in the last era, remember how many Senate presidents we had. Things were being stage managed or from one point of view. But today, the legislative arm is working, the party is on its own, the presidency is on its own. So that is what democracy is all about, so that you have checks and balances.
Well, but some people would say if the president does not assert some strong control, he allows things to go awry, as we saw with the election of the leadership of the National Assembly. Some people, for instance, had thought he was going to come out firm and strong, but basically he just he sat aloof and allowed things to just play out.
Well, see, like I said, he has his own function. His function is not as to go and control the legislatives. So if that's what was in the past, it was wrong. We're doing things right now because they must have checks and balances. You see, for a long time, the Senate, the House of Reps said they won't do certain things. Until President, you do this, you do that. That is the beauty of democracy. That is, if there's checks and balances, things will work well. But if one section is dominating everybody, bullying everybody, like we used to have, things will never go well. So please, the president's attitude to me is a very good one. He allows the legislature to work. He allows the party to function. So if the party chairman knows the right thing, he will do it. And if he feels aggrieved, if the party chairman has not done the right thing, he will complain and speak out to him. So for me, where the democracy has developed, it has improved from what we used to have.
Your party, whether we like it or not, is rocked by crisis in different states across the country. You have one problem or the other. You think the party would be able to resolve its internal problems and go into the next election, general elections now in 2019 as one united body?
You see, let me tell you one thing. What the outsiders call crisis or rancor, to me, is not. It's just a competition for space. If you remember, APC was formed by amalgamation of so many parties. And it's not going to be easy. The time is, we're barely 5 years old. So imagine when a 5-year child is just still a toddler. So give us time. I'm sure eventually we'll fuse into one unit and function as one unit. But as of today, because we came from different backgrounds, individual differences, But eventually, things will work out well. I don't call this things crisis. I take example from my state where I come from. It is not crisis. We belong to the original people who formed the APC. New people came, and they are competing for space. They want to dominate. And in that situation, you must have people to compete. And that's the beauty of democracy. It's all about competition. The stronger parties, the stronger personalities, those that have stronger views will always carry the day.
And, I mean, how do you see, how do you fancy your chances in 2019?
Our chances are brighter, better, more beautiful than it was 2015. Remember 2015, we came from the unknown to remove the party that has been, say, the biggest party in Africa, supposedly then, that claimed that we've been in power for 60 years. We're able to remove them. Now we've been in power, and they are in disarray because each time, every day, they keep leaving their party to join APC. So I don't see how they are going to win election when they're always moving in doves coming to APC. So 2019 will do better than we did in 2015.
Well, they're asking Nigerians for forgiveness, that they have learned their lessons, and you never can tell. Nigerians might just decide to forgive them and probably give them another chance.
Well, like our information minister has said, they should confess their sins before you ask for forgiveness. You don't ask for forgiveness when you've not confessed your sins. So you should confess their sins, return the loots, then Nigerians will probably listen to them. But as of now, PDP is not an alternative to APC.
Now, we'll take a short break here, but when we return, I will have two political analysts dissect some of the challenges confronting the ruling APC and the opposition PDP. On DEJI360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
The Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that panel.
DEJI360, providing clarity to issues.